Your cat loves you. Your cat chose you. Your cat shows affection every single day. The problem is, almost everything you just accepted as true is a story you told yourself. And the strangest part? Your cat has been trying to correct you this entire time, not with sound, not with behavior you'd recognize, with a language so subtle that most owners go their entire lives completely blind to it. There are 13 specific things your cat is communicating right now, today, in this room, that you are almost certainly misreading, or missing entirely, and the first one? It has nothing to do with love. It has everything to do with something that's been slowly stressing your cat out for months without a single obvious sign. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you're going to look at your cat and see a completely different animal. Here's what makes this so difficult. Cats didn't evolve to communicate with humans. Dogs spent roughly 15,000 years being selectively shaped by U.S., bred for eye contact, for readable expressions, for barking that we could interpret. Cats, they domesticated themselves. They showed up at our grain stores to hunt rodents, and we tolerated them. That relationship never required them to become emotionally legible to us. So what you're dealing with isn't a cold animal. It's an animal with an incredibly rich interior life, one that researchers at Oregon State University and the University of Lincoln have only recently begun to decode, communicating in a frequency most owners aren't tuned to receive. Dr. John Bradshaw, one of the world's leading cat behaviorists, spent over 30 years studying feline communication and came to a conclusion that should stop every cat owner cold. The majority of what your cat is expressing is directed at you, not at other cats, at you specifically. They adapted. You just haven't caught up yet. But here's what I need you to hold in your mind before we go further. Why does your cat meow at all? Adult cats almost never meow at each other. That behavior? It developed almost exclusively for humans, which means your cat has been trying harder than you realize. Thing. #1. I am more stressed than I look. A cat named Shadow changed how researchers think about feline anxiety. Shadow belonged to a family in Bristol who described him as perfectly happy, ate well, groomed regularly, came for cuddles on the sofa every evening. Then during a routine vet visit, they discovered he had idiopathic cystitis, a stress-induced bladder condition with no external cause. The vet asked one question: has anything in your home changed in the last 6 months? The family had repainted the living room, rearranged the furniture, and started working from home. To them, minor updates. To Shadow, his entire territory had been dismantled and reconstructed. This is the first thing your cat is desperately trying to communicate. Not with yowling or hiding, those are late-stage distress signals. The early language is whisper quiet. Over-grooming on one specific patch of fur, a subtle change in how often they use the litter box, sleeping in new locations not out of preference, but because the old ones smell wrong now. The research calls it environmental stress. And a 2019 study out of the University of Edinburgh found it affects an estimated 40% of indoor cats at any given time, nearly all of it invisible to their owners. Your cat isn't a stoic. They're a prey animal. Showing vulnerability is a survival disadvantage. So they hide it, right up until the body gives out. Watch the fur, not the face. Thing number 2, the slow blink is a gift. Give it back. You've probably heard of the slow blink. But here's what most people get wrong about it. A slow blink from your cat isn't passive contentment. It's an active, deliberate choice to lower their guard in your presence. Cats have a hardwired threat response tied directly to eye contact. Unbroken eye contact between cats signals dominance or aggression. Choosing to half close their eyes while looking at you is, neurologically speaking, your cat choosing vulnerability. Dr. Karen McComb at the University of Sussex ran a controlled study in 2020 where owners and strangers performed slow blinks at cats. The result was extraordinary. Cats consistently slow blinked back at humans who slow blinked first, and were significantly more likely to approach a stranger who had slow blinked at them. It's not a trick. It's a handshake. The thing your cat is trying to tell you. If you never slow blink back, you're leaving the handshake hanging. You're receiving a gift and setting it down unopened. It takes 2 seconds. Try it today. Notice what happens. Thing. #3. My tail is an entire conversation. But here's where it gets strange. Most people know a puff tail means fear. Most people know a thrashing tail means agitation. But almost no one knows what a tail curved gently to the left means, versus a tail curving to the right. A 2021 study published in Animal Cognition found that cats' tails actually wag asymmetrically in response to different emotional states. Right side wags were associated with positive arousal, seeing the owner return home. Left side wags correlated with negative arousal. An unfamiliar dog. A startling noise. Your cat's nervous system processes emotions differently in each hemisphere, and that asymmetry leaks into their tail. Take Luna, a 7-year-old tabby whose owner noticed she wagged slightly leftward every time visitors arrived. Even visitors Luna seemed to like. She wasn't being aggressive, she wasn't hiding. But her nervous system was logging stress while her face stayed perfectly calm. Her owner started giving her a quiet room during gatherings. Luna began approaching guests on her own terms. Tail. Straight up, curving right. Same cat, different information. Completely different relationship. Thing number 4. I brought you that dead thing because you're incompetent. And this is the part most people get completely wrong. The gifts. The half-eaten mouse, the stunned bird. The limp gecko deposited at your feet at 3 a.m. The popular interpretation. Love, an offering. Your cat thinking of you. Here's what the behavioral evidence actually suggests. Your cat thinks you are terrible. At hunting. Mother cats bring injured prey to their kittens not to share, but to teach. To demonstrate technique. When your cat brings you prey, especially prey that's still alive, they are, in the most literal sense, trying to give you a lesson you desperately need. Some researchers argue this behavior is especially common in cats who feel a strong bond with their owners, which does make it an expression of care. But the framing matters enormously. It's not "I love you, here's a present." It's "I love you, which is why I'm worried about your survival." If you live alone and your cat brings you prey regularly, congratulations. Your cat has assessed your hunting skills and found them critically lacking. They're invested enough in your future to do something about it. Thing number 5. Purring is not always what you think. Stop, I know what you're about to say. My cat purrs when they're happy, I can feel it. Yes, and also, cats purr when they're in pain, when they're giving birth, when they're dying. Purring operates at 25 to 150 Hz, a frequency range that researchers at the Fauna Communications Research Institute have linked to tissue healing, bone density maintenance, and pain relief. Cats may have evolved purring not primarily as a communication tool, but as a self-soothing mechanism triggered by high stress. The behavioral distinction matters. A happiness purr tends to be rhythmic and consistent. A stress purr is often slightly faster, with a subtle urgency embedded in the rhythm, something cat owners frequently describe as off, without being able to explain why. When your cat is purring in the vet's office, they are not okay. When your cat is purring while being held a little too tightly, they are not okay. The sound is the same. The meaning is opposite. Your cat is trying to tell you, learn which purr is which. It will change how you read them. Thing 6. Where I sleep is not random. Milo, a 3-year-old Maine Coon, used to sleep at the foot of his owner's bed every night. Then, over about 2 weeks he migrated, first to the hallway, then to the laundry room, then to a cardboard box near the water heater. His owner thought he was being weird. Took him to the vet. What they found: Melo was running a low-grade fever from a developing infection and instinctively seeking warmth, like sick cats have done for millennia. The behavior change came 10 days before any other symptom appeared. Cats are exquisitely sensitive to their own bodies. Where they choose to sleep communicates thermal need, emotional safety, social preference, and health status simultaneously. A cat who suddenly stops sleeping near you isn't being distant. They may be regulating. They may be unwell. They may simply need to feel less observed while they process something. The question is never, why won't my cat sleep with me anymore? The question is always, what is my cat solving by sleeping there? Thing number 7. I actually do miss you. Now forget everything you've assumed about cats being indifferent to your absence. Because the research dismantles it completely. A 2015 study at the University of Lincoln used a secure attachment paradigm, the same framework used to measure infant caregiver bonding, and applied it to cats and their owners. The results were unambiguous. 64% of cats showed a secure attachment pattern to their owners, using them as a safe base to explore from and returning to them under stress. That's nearly 2/3 of cats. Genuinely attached. The confusion arises because cats don't perform reunion the way dogs do. They don't sprint to the door. They don't vocalize urgently. Some don't react at all for minutes, but measure their cortisol. Observe their scan behavior. Watch how they orientate toward you. Even from across the room, they noticed you were gone. They noticed you came back. The welcome is quiet. It is not absent. Things number 8 to 11. My face tells you less than my body does. And here's the revelation hiding in plain sight. Cats have 32 muscles in each ear. Humans have 9, and we barely use them. That ear mobility isn't decorative. It's a broadcast. Ears slightly rotated back and flattened. Stress, even in a cat who looks relaxed. Ears swiveling independently toward different sounds. Active threat assessment. One ear forward, one back. Divided attention, mild uncertainty. The whiskers tell a similar story. Whiskers fanned fully forward. Engaged, curious, hunting mode activated. Whiskers pinned back against the face. Fearful, in pain, or deeply uncomfortable. Most owners never watch the whiskers. They're watching the eyes. The pupils expand in darkness. That's basic. But pupils that dilate in full light signal arousal, play, fear, or pain, depending on context. Constricted pupils in a relaxed setting can indicate mild contentment, or they can indicate a cat managing discomfort through hypervigilance. And the thing almost no one knows, cats have a facial expression called the Flehmen response, a slight lifting of the upper lip that exposes the Jacobson's organ, a secondary scent processing structure on the roof of the mouth. When you see it, your cat isn't grimacing. They're tasting the air, reading chemical data that doesn't have a name in human language. They are constantly processing, constantly communicating. The face is just one channel. Things number 12 to 13. I need more than you're giving, and I'll never ask. Here's the emotional weight of this entire conversation. Cats are described endlessly as low maintenance, independent, easy, and that framing has done immense damage to an enormous number of cats living quietly in the wrong kind of environment. 2020 survey published in the Journal of Feline Medicine and Surgery found that over 50% of pet cats showed behavioral indicators consistent with chronic boredom, reduced play, EXCESS, sleep beyond normal ranges, repetitive behaviors, reduced, interaction initiation, not sick, not unhappy in any dramatic diagnosable way, just ... chronically understimulated, in an environment designed for human convenience rather than feline need. Your cat will not tell you they need more. They won't sulk visibly. They won't demand. They will quietly shrink. What they need, what the research at a VSAB consistently recommends, is environmental enrichment that activates the predatory sequence. Stalk, chase, pounce, catch. Not just a toy on the floor, the full arc. Interactive play that triggers and then satisfies the hunt. 10 to 15 minutes. Twice a day. The behavioral change in chronically understimulated cats can begin showing within 72 hours. Your cat isn't asking. They're waiting. And they will wait for as long as they live. Here's what I want you to carry out of this. Your cat is not withholding from you. They are not indifferent. They are not simpler than a dog or more mysterious than they need to be. They are a highly intelligent, emotionally complex animal communicating constantly in a language that humans were never trained to receive. The slow blink. The asymmetric tail. The 3-M gift. The shift in sleeping location. The purr that sounds wrong. None of it is noise. It's all signal. The relationship you have with your cat is not less than what you imagined. It might be more. It's just encoded differently. And now that you have the cipher, go back and watch them. Really watch them. You'll be amazed what they've been saying all along. But there's one more thing, something that most cat owners discover only by accident, usually during a crisis. A single behavior your cat does in the 48 hours before they're seriously unwell that looks completely ordinary unless you know what you're looking for. That's next.